Almost had it. Almost had it, dude. Hang on.
Close.
Here it is. Yeah, I was on the wrong page, but I got everything posted. I got everything pinned right away. But would you expect anything? 6 years into the show 20 something out of the year, and I still can't get it.
Wonder how many shows we've done to date.
Like to date, like from when we started. I mean,
Yeah.
I could go back and count them.
I bet you $1 150, maybe 150, 160.
Well, you figure we got 20,
15, probably 15
15,
weeks we've
20.
done it each year.
Yeah, and then
Well, we actually take it back. We were doing 2 shows a week at the beginning
we were doing a Monday and a Wednesday,
for the first 2 years, right?
right? First 2 years, yeah. So we're probably at 100. I got to go back and count
Oh, we got way more than 100.
and see where we're at. But
Yeah.
hey guys, thanks for tuning in, especially since we were gone last week after the state semis and leading into state. We just work gets in the way. You know, Justin's been working a lot leading up to the
It's
end of
that
the year here.
pool.
Yeah, with the pool and then everything else. He's just been hemmed up, dude. So it's been hard. And I don't like doing the show by myself. We did okay when we what did he say? I gotta
Glad
pull
to
this.
see you guys. Great season for the Miller Bucks and Sinton.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm surprised this guy's in here on time. But
Hey, week 16, and he finally showed up.
I know, dude. The beginning of the show, not just, you know why? Because there's nothing else going on.
I
And
know.
so that's what's kind of sad, right, dude? It's like the season just started and it's already over.
It's kind of a grind, though, man. When you think about it, it's a grind.
But it goes by fast. I mean,
It goes by fast.
super fast, dude.
Yep.
So yeah, the season ended on Saturday night, up in Dallas, and man, it was a wrapping gifts. He just got us on in the background. Yeah, hey, so I didn't finish. I lost my train of thought when Lavelle popped in. Yeah, so Quentin came in and Matt came in your absence that 1 week, and that was a great show. It was good having those guys on. A lot of knowledge.
I tuned in from work. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Being a fan, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh man. So hey, Quentin, since you're here, when does All South Texas come out? That's been a question we've been getting. When does the Caller Times putting the All South Texas team out? We'll wait for your answer. First time caller, long time listener.
Yeah.
So like we said, Justin's been working a whole lot, so it's been kind of busy. Me, I'm not working nearly as much as I used to, and it's actually kind of refreshing. My wife wishes I would go back to shift work. The kids probably wish I would go back to shift work. They're tired of having me around. I just kind of get in the way. Next week. Okay, so for you guys wondering, the All South Texas team comes out next week. And the All South Texas team, just to clarify now, is only for the Coastal Bend. It's in the Caller Times readers area. So that pretty much stops Refugio going north.
I thought Refugio made it into the All South Texas.
And I think south, it probably Kingsville, Rivera. I think that's pretty much the marking line. And then I think Beeville is probably the marking line going out the other way, right?
Probably.
I think that's where
maybe going up north.
Yeah, maybe Three Rivers, but I think that's the extent of how far it goes. A lot of folks will say, "Yo, it should count if they play in our Coastal Bend All-Star game, they should be on there." Well, it doesn't necessarily work that way, because to play in the Coastal Bend All-Star game, the coaches have to be a member of the Coastal Bend Coaches Association. So I think a few years, because you've seen Cuero players in there, and that for a few years they were in the Coastal Bend Coach Association. I think now they have their own up there in that area. I think they call it the South Texas Coach Association. It was started by the coach in Ganado and the old coach in Carn City.
Makes sense.
Just to clarify. So the holidays are coming up. I'm on vacation, dude. I'm on vacation until I don't go back to the 2nd. Yeah, we got a lot of time off right now, and then who knows what's in line for us next. We hear all kinds of stuff, so who knows? What are you doing? I mean, y'all are gearing up, right? I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're saying some of those guys are working 12 days during the holidays.
Yeah, man, it's God, dude, it's hectic, it's crowded. I actually was supposed to be off today. One of the dudes realized he had an extra day of vacation left. No one wanted to help him out, so I wanted some good karma going into the year. So I just said, hey, because I would feel bad, man, because if not, you lose it, right? They won't let us pass the sell date, so I helped him out. Quite frankly, it was a pretty easy day for me. But
Yeah.
other than that, dude, it's crowded. It's gearing up. I got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday's a maybe. And then I start vacation for 12 days.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then I come back. I think fourth or fifth, and kind of roll right into
In the turnaround.
ground, dude. So yeah, I'm at that stretch.
Yeah.
We'll see. 4 month grind. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Um, last week, man, I was busy. I actually state didn't in for me till like last night at around like 11:30. Like I was telling you earlier, I didn't get to see all of the Saturday games on Saturday because I was tied up with Alonzo's barbecue. And then I went to my buddies that night, and so I basically shut my phone off. So I probably had like 6 texts from you, probably like 10 or 12 from Mark, but mixed between Portal and high school football. So I just didn't open up anything because I didn't want to get a spoiler alert. So I didn't even get on Twitter up until really like late last night. And if I did, it was like a quick glance at like something, and I cruised off because there's one thing about me. I record games. Absolutely cannot stand it if it gets ruined, and then I won't watch it if the score is already ruined for me.
Yeah.
LaBelle almost ruined the PNG South game for me, right? So I had to. I kind of saw what was going on there, but I still got to enjoy it. And I don't know. I saw every single game, and it was a good year for state. I enjoyed it. Teams were good. Um, it's kind of crazy if you look back on that Duncanville and North Shore era, man. That's kind of wild, dude. 5 years, 5 times in 6 years now, or whatever it's
Yeah.
been. The one exception was the year I went to Westlake and Southlake. Other than that, it's those two battling out. So
Yeah. It just depended who fell in what division that year. Yeah.
I feel like these last 2 weeks is just like 3 weeks really have just ran all together for me because I've been working a lot, baseball in between and now, and just a lot of shit going on.
Yeah. So you brought up state, right? So let's take a look at a graphic that we shared earlier in the week on the page. And it's not a secret to anybody, right? But let's pull this up here for a second. How big is that? Is that big? Can you guys see that? How big is that?
That's a little small.
Hope you can make that up. Let's see. Let's go.
I had to blow by that without looking at that picture during the 2 day worth of trying to not make sure I didn't ruin it for myself.
Man, yeah, man, that's terrible. Yeah, so if you can see, it's the graphic of the state champions this year. And if you can notice the trend here, it's all right there, right? All DFW, all North Texas. You can kind of call Gilmer and Timpson East Texas, but I would say it's Northeast Texas, right?
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that? I mean, it's not a
Well,
secret, right?
we were talking about it today. I was asked about that at work, and they said, how come, what do you think? Like, why is like all the state champions like around the Dallas area? And I'm pretty sure it's just spun off this graphic. And I said, well, dude, like, you got to think about it. Like, these dudes in these districts and pre-districts, they're playing each other week in, week out. They see good competition throughout the year. Like, look at Sock, for example, man. They played DeSoto. They played Duncanville. DeSoto played Duncanville and Sock. Like, that's good on good competition. So, like, you come into these games and you're going to dominate some teams away. And honestly, just look at it. Like, it's the same thing. Why is Cal Allen so good every year down here? People move their kids in there. They get recruited, whatever you want to call it, right? Carthage is the same way. If you listen to anyone, they'll tell you, all the haters will tell you, Scott Surratt's he's not all that as a coach. He's a great recruiter. Well, okay, well, the same thing was said about Traylor at Gilmer. Oh, he can recruit really good. Well, that may be what it is, but people want to be around winners. That's evident. So they're going to move their kids to the winning programs. They're going to. That's just how things work. So these teams are hot. They're good. They have tons of talent. And honestly, the gap is huge between us and there. Like, take, for example, I use Smithson Valley as an example. To me, Smithson Valley is miles ahead of where we're at right now. I think Miller could give them a game just based off the fact I think the way Smithson Valley would have played Miller this year, and you disagree with me or not, but they probably would have ball controlled it, tried to bully him, and it might have been like a 35-14 game, maybe 42-24 game. We felt good. We put 24 on them. Well, okay, then let's turn around. How did Alito treat those dudes? Absolutely disrespected from the get go. Honestly, I was so impressed with Alito, and I keep bringing him up when I talk to people. Is like, I promise you, if you live in that town, if you do the my participation award trophy son, or oh, you did so great, baby, you deserve ice cream treatment, you ain't gonna survive there, dude. There's no way. You can just look at those kids from, dude. That's a way different story, Lavelle, and a way different team. That the way those kids from Alito just breathe confidence, dude. They were confident from the get go. Like, they legitimately walked on that field, and from the jump, you could tell I'm the baddest motherfucker on this field right now, and they let you know it. There's no participation trophies going on there, and if it is, you're probably moving out. I've yet to see a team down here have that kind of mentality ever. Never bring that kind of mentality, right? So until like we start looking and holding our kids accountable down here for that, like Refugio is a prime example. Refugio should have been. I'm so disappointed with him this year. People, I can catch all kinds of hate on it you want. I talked to my buddies there from Refugio. If you're not disappointed with that season and how that ended up for you, like, you need to have some self-reflection as like a community on that. Like, you need to hold those kids a higher standard. Like, y'all were a better team than Gannett. You're more athletic. And you lost that game because people were walking on and off the field, not trying, walked in that game, oh, we beat them, we got this thing wrapped up. Dude, you can't do that. Like, look what happened to you, right? Those dudes from Refugio should walk on the field every single time with that, hey, I'm the baddest dude out here. We've won state. Like, you're the only team down here that's won state in years.
Decades.
Like, you own Region 3, who won state this year. You own Terry Bus the year before. Me and you watched them own
Terry. That game. Dude, so that's the other part, right? So that is the first time Region 4 has not won a state championship in what, 6 years? At that level, right?
That's the first time Region 3 and Timpson broke through in the last, like, for Timpson, and took what, 4 years to finally break through.
Yeah.
3 with Bussy, I think, getting all the way to that game. I don't know, man. We got if you want teams down here to compete, man, they got to get the mindset of, like, you got to put more work in, dude. Like, you have to go to camps. You have to see what competition's like. Like, you can bullshit yourself down here all you want, but until you go and put yourself against other kids and, like, see what's out there and hit the weight room religiously and actually want to win, it's going to take a lot to top those schools up there, dude. And Lavelle's correct. It's the most populated area. Like, every town up there's popping off. Frisco, McKinney, Alito pops off.
Melissa.
Allen's huge. Melissa's coming.
Anna came out of
nowhere. Dude, Panther Creek is like a 2-year, 3-year program. Blew up on the scene. They look incredible this year. Summer Creek out of Houston popped up out of the Atascocita area. It's been ran by the Eagles in Atascocita for like the last 8 years. They came in and ran over that. Like, those are populated areas, and they have a lot of talent. There's no doubt about it. But, like, for us to ever kind of get above that, I mean, I don't know. Well, Houston to your thing, John. Like, Houston gets their state. We don't get their state.
They were there.
And honestly, if we're going to talk about that right now, this is the first time I've watched state in a while where I was like, damn, like, when it comes to state, I'm ride or die for Houston. Like, I want to see North Shore win. I want to see the Houston schools beat the Dallas schools every time. But I felt like this year, that was one of the biggest gaps in talent between Dallas and Houston that I've seen since, like, really the show has started and, like, taking it serious. Like, it was evidently more. Like, I just was not very impressed with North Shore. And I think that's just because how good Duncanville was. And then that was a good Summer Creek team. They played North Shore within 7 points. Dude, they got throttled by DeSoto. That DeSoto team, to me, probably tops what I think was one of the better teams I've ever seen, which was like the 2016 Lake Travis team that had Charlie Brewer in them. Like, they went up like 35-0 in the first half. And I was like, man, that's an impressive team. Like, they looked good from the get-go. That DeSoto team was filthy. That was
I don't know if you caught it, but in that first half of that Galena Park DeSoto or Duncanville game, Willie Gaston was not calling the plays. The offensive coordinator was. He took over play calling in the second half, and it changed. Yeah. Now, would he have done that sooner? Would that have been a different outcome? I don't know, but he let his coaches coach. It didn't work. He took over, and things changed in the second half. Would it have been a different ball game if he called the whole game? I don't know.
Yeah.
Could have, but
I just felt like Duncanville had more. They had more names, evidently. I felt like that are going to the next level, talent wise. And I think the big thing there was Duncanville's secondary's weak. Man, they didn't do much. They didn't really have a lot of time with Colin Simmons and the other kid, number 9, I think, or number 8. Get their numbers confused, but number 11 too. I just felt like the talent gap was pretty big this year for Duncanville and North Shore. Like the whole game is just like, wow, like it was impressive what Duncanville was doing to them. You don't see North Shore get ran off like that.
Yeah. John's asking about what about, the West Texas days, Midland, Lee, Odessa, Permian. I think it's, and people knock it all the time, but I think it's the demographics. I think the demographics have changed, out there. Everybody is moving to North Texas. It has the population boom right now, which is why you're seeing all these schools. Anna, who was probably a 2A school probably 6 years ago, 8 years ago, is now up where they're at. And it's just all the growth up there. At one time, South Lake Carroll was a 3A school.
Dude, that's a prime example. That's what I was about to say next was, think about the Odessa and Midland Lee days. That's where the money was at in Texas, right, back then. And everyone was out there. You couldn't pay people good money to go live out there. Now guys go out there, live in a trailer, and their family lives back home somewhere.
Yeah.
They don't move their family out there, right? They live in the DFW area, and their kids go to the DFW. South Lake Carroll won a state title as a 3A in like 98 or 90, like early 90s.
Early 90s, yeah.
And then in mid 2000s, they won 5A, 3 of them state titles, right? The growth was there. The money's there. So
Allen may have the most populated school, but they have a lot of politics going on over there. I think they've run through 3 head coaches in the last 6 years.
Yeah.
So Allen has problems of their own. But it does. And you said it earlier, it comes down to coaching. It comes down to coaching. It comes down to these kids wanting what they want, or wanting to be better,
dude, it's coaching and talent, man. Like the talent pool. Just look at DeSoto, Sock, and Duncanville. They're in like a 25-mile radius of each other. There's just tons of talent there. And what they've done is they have coaches that it's the same thing that Justin did here at Miller, but it's on a Dallas-Fort Worth talent level and basis. But Reginald Samples is a good example. Dude, he goes in there. He bonds with the kids. They look up to him as a father. He's a good coach. He's got leaders. He's got a really young staff that probably most of them came from that area. They know how to get those kids into the programs. They know how to keep them in the classroom. They know how to put them on the fields. You know that if you go start there, you're going to go and be a D1 athlete more than likely somewhere in Texas or an SEC school. That's how you get out of that area, right? The same thing with Todd at SOC. John Kay and now Willie Gaston, they've done it at North Shore. And there was a coach before John Kay that did it. John Kay's an exception because he's kind of crazy. He was a white guy doing that at a heavily populated African-American school. It's kind of funny, but
you had a Caucasian guy at DeSoto one state before.
You had a Caucasian guy at DeSoto. Heck, you had a Caucasian guy at Duncanville coaching OCs. It's just like the dudes that can go in there and get the kids bought in to those Sock, dude. They were nobody, and then they figured it out, and those kids bought in. Miller was nobody. And Justin and them figured out how to get those kids in and to stay there, right? To stay at those schools,
yep,
and compete. So I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's going to be hard to overcome that North Texas. And like I told people, I went to Lindale and Gilmer last year. I watched the kid from Gilmer, the running back with the goggles this year, fastest kid in 4A, dude. As a junior last year or sophomore, whatever he was. First play of the game, I'm sitting on the field with my brother-in-law. They did a little swing pass to him. He takes up the field for 40 yards, gone. That's enough. And we stand around and see a lot of teams down here. That's a whole nother level of speed. Those East Texas schools, that's all those kids got. It's just like Refugio. They have football.
And they run track. The Refugio kids run track. And people knock track, but it's I'm a big believer in track's the foundation of all athletics, not just football. You're getting better, and Justin, actually, Coach Evans summed it up best on a quote on a post he put the other day, because it's easy to point the finger on a team oh, well, you know what? I did this. In track, you're on that 100 meter. That's you. You got nobody to point the finger at but yourself. And it's accountability thing, right? And it teaches you a lot about yourself. But
And it's a whole other topic, Lavelle. I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll say that right now. I think that was, to me, one of the worst. I just didn't understand any of that offense all year long, and I really did not understand any of that in the last game of the season. It was just flabbergasting watching them continue to try to run like a variation of the slot T out of shotgun, and then never send the fastest. Like, you have 3 fast, good receivers against Ganado. I'm not saying Ganado's sloppy, but you can't send them on verticals or crossing patterns and use their speed to beat that secondary. You deserve to lose that game like they did. Like, I agree. I don't understand. I got people close to that referral program that some people don't really want Jason back. So, and I but dude, there's a lot of talent that you kind of like threw away.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you had the fastest man in really the state going to a D1 college. Like, I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. There was another team that did that, small school that did that. They rode that kid's back. Now it's a different kid, but Jordan Whittington.
Yeah.
Cuero won state on that kid's back.
And Terry Bussey and Jordan Whittington are literally like the same guy, like 5 years apart.
Terry Bussey. Yeah. Dude. Oh, congratulations to Terry Bussey. Right. If you guys hadn't seen that story that Bally's did on him earlier in the season, go back and watch it. It's on YouTube right now. A lot of guys at work hadn't seen it. And I'll tell you what, there was a lot of sawdust in that room after they got done watching it.
Dude, I was happy. I was happy he won that, right? Like, God dang, dude. Like, I don't know, because Mark would text me, "Oh man, Refiro could have beat that Timpson team." I'm kind of glad they didn't get a chance to. I got a lot of respect for Terry. And he might not even be an A&M kid next year, but like, dude, his story and just like how incredibly good he was, dude. Like,
dude, and they put up 42 points. Everybody had, believe it or not, all the guys from DCTF except one had Tolar winning that game.
Yeah, dude, I wanted to clown and ask him what the hell were they thinking.
And that was without one of his best players. Bosky Howard not being there half the season or whatever.
Most people don't remember him, but me and you were blown away by Bosky Howard last year. He's probably gonna be D1 receiver somewhere, like Vanderbilt. I think was looking at him.
I think it's Lamar. I think that's where he was going in Beaumont. I thought that's where
he finally decided,
or it was Louisiana, the Lafayette.
Oh, you know what? That might have been it. I think that was it. The Raging Cajuns.
Yeah. Yeah. But man, I don't know. Speaking of power run game, if you got the athletes to shut it down, look at Belleville, right? I thought Belleville was going to run through everybody. And man, they struggled against Wimberley. I thought that game was going to be a blowout in the semis. And that was a close one. I think it was like 7 points, I think.
Yeah, 7 points.
And then, because Wimberley just plays, they play good football. They play disciplined football. You're not going to catch those kids making a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
And then, in that game against Gilmer, they ran a little bit, but once Gilmer figured that out, Gilmer had the athletes to screw up that slot T. Mm-hmm. And Belleville had nowhere else to go with it. They couldn't throw the ball, and they were kind of stuck, So, power run game will only get you so far if you can't throw the ball.
And another thing too, they brought
up in that these kids with athletes.
They brought up in that game, like, as good as Belleville was, and that area that Belleville plays in is strong for football. I would say it's probably a little stronger than our area for football, based like on their region. Like, I'm not saying like all the schools come beat our guys, but like if you look at those 3As and 4As right there, they're all like really good. I came from that area. It's a badass little area of football. But dude, that was the first time that secondary has really been had a test like Gilmer. Gilmer just came off beating the defending state champions in Carthage, who honestly, I think they outcoached Gilmer at the very end of that game. I watched the very end of that game. Gilmer had that game won. Carthage went ahead and just let them score and took a risk that, we can get down there and get 8 points. And they did, and took it overtime and almost beat them. So it was like, wow, that was just smart coaching on Surratt's part. But, they've seen speed, they've seen size. And I don't know that Belleville had seen speed or size in the secondary that or receiver wise for their secondary, and Gilmer exploited that. And then Belleville's a good team; they kept the game close, and it was actually a fun game. But yeah, dude, it was just like there's a discrepancy. They're out in East Texas; they're playing skill on skill every week, really good skill. You know, it's just a little different.
And then going back to power run game again, I know Joey's in here, and Joey's a friend of ours now. Tidehaven, they gave Gunner a pretty good fight, man. I mean, it was 17-14 going into the half, and then man, they couldn't run the ball. They could not run the ball very well against that team.
They kind of I was a little disappointed in Tidehaven.
They almost abandoned it in the second half.
Well, man, they were up 7-3, and they had a 4th and 1 early in the game at like the 45. And at that point, they hadn't been able to stop Joseph Dodds at all. Like I was like, oh shit, this dude's gonna like bully him the whole game. And they punted. And it was a turning factor for me because that was right. Gunner got it and they went down and put him up 10-7. That was kind of like, I think Tidehaven kind of panicked a little bit and they kind of started abandoning the run. And then the adjustments that weren't being made was like the offensive line was struggling to keep that Gunner D-line off of them. And they just kept going to play action. It's like, dude, you're killing yourself. You're not even running the ball. You continue to play action. Your quarterback's literally turn around to pressure. I just think they kind of played themselves right into what Gunner wanted them to do, and they did abandon the run, which helped them out. And they scored quick. They didn't try to make long drives. And dude, that little kid from Gunner, the quarterback, God, dude, did I text you that he reminded me of the kid from China Spring a couple years ago? Major, yeah. He was impressive. I thought it was impressive that he dang near butt touched the ground every time he took the snap. That's how little he was. But I actually really like Gunner. The last couple of years, I've been watching a lot of their runs in the playoffs. I really look forward to the Canadian game every year.
Yeah.
I love the black and blue. I like that part of Texas. I like the Salina area. They're like literally right the road from Salina. I would love to move myself.
Dallas.
DFW. Yeah. They're awesome, dude. They got a good program of football. They're fun to watch. I like the little pistol they ran out of. It's good football. That's like good football.
A lot of folks in that game, what I think really hurt those guys, and I told you when we were texting there in that game, is when they lost Rush Matthews, number 40 from Tidehaven, the middle linebacker and the tight end, because right after it was still 17-14, the backup comes in and Russell hit him perfect on 2. One would have been a touchdown, and another would have kept the drive going, just dropped him. And I think the moment was too big for that kid at the time. And
sucks, right?
You lose that kid. I think that he was out all year last year with a torn ACL, and he comes back, plays the season. And it was when he tackled him on that play, I thought they horse collared him. And I thought that's what, like, his leg got caught in the turf, but no, it was a non-contact injury. It was his knee just buckled after he caught that pass. If you watched it on the replay,
there was 3 kids that got, I think, torn ACLs that game. Him,
the 2 defensive linemen from Gunner,
and the defensive end from Gunner that was like their stud, number 1 or whatever, number 0. Like first drive blew his knee, and then I never saw the second kid, but I just saw they kept bringing the camera to him saying, there's
on the sidelines,
like 3 possible blown ACLs. Like, dude, fuck. There's honestly a lot of injuries this year at the state games. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, there was a lot.
But like I said, dude, I hardly watched, dude, because I had something going on. Like I said, the only game I really watched was the second half of that Tidehaven game.
Dude, Tidehaven was huge. I was impressed with how big they were compared to Gunner. And early on, I was like, dude, they're going to bully this team right off the turf the way the game started. So, I don't know. I think Gunner adjusted really well.
It was still a heck of a run for those kids, man. I mean, will they be back next year? I know Dodds, man, I saw Dodds as a freshman when Odom played them in the playoffs, and he was playing defensive back, and I think he was spot running back here and there. But, man, he really came into his own his sophomore year, and as evident, he's going to Baylor. I think he just signed. Speaking of signings, J.C. Smith just signed today with UNT.
He did officially
today.
Finally, huh?
He officially did it today. Yeah. So congratulations to JC and your trip to North Texas. Andrew Body's in the transfer portal right now. A&M Kingsville just offered him. And I don't know if you saw this one, but Johnny Dickinson from Flower Bluff up at Virginia Tech, he jumped in the portal too.
Really?
Yeah, so he's back. He's putting his name out there too.
The Andrew one, that's like, okay, so that I think with, I don't know the whole thing with Andrew Body, but I believe he got hurt this year, right?
Yeah, he took a medical red shirt. Yeah.
He got hurt. The coach that recruited him got fired. Now you go from like you were the man at TSU, right? They had him on the media days to, well, you got hurt, your backup shined, your coach recruited you's no longer there, and now you find yourself in the portal looking for a job, and you're just coming off a medical red shirt with hardly any like tape. Dude, that is just such a prime example of how tough it is in the college world, and then how crazy the portal is. And I was telling someone the other day because we were talking about it, and I said, what people got to realize is at the end of the day, nobody outside of your mama cares. Like you got like kids need to learn that. Like I try to teach that to like Ace and Reese all the time. Like people can say, "Oh, you're being too hard on them." Sometimes I'm like, dude, because outside of me and their
Life's
mom,
hard.
guess who cares? Not one damn person cares. That goes for you. That goes for me. That's anything. Like so, you have to like learn to like really grind and do like and get yours. And I think that's kind of like a thing that I think we fail kids on sometimes. And I'm not going to soapbox about it, but like we do look. He's a prime example. That dude was a beast in high school. He's one of the all-time leading passers in Texas, and like he's trying to find another job. And I'm not saying Aiden Kingsville's a step down, like in a bad way. Like if you can come down here and start and get it and finish your degree, heck yeah, man, like do it. But like I think his trajectory and what I think a lot of his trajectory was like, hey, a couple years at TSU, he balls. Maybe U of H comes calling. Maybe another U of L or someone like that comes and gets him, right? It's just like tough breaks, and now you're in the portal. And there was like last time I checked, like 4,000 kids in the portal. Looking like we have quarterbacks that are 5-star quarterbacks.
Look who's transferring. You got starters leaving. You have
Well,
starters.
Dude, damn near the top 5 quarterbacks out of last year. I think maybe 2 stayed at their school. The other 3 are about Malachi Nelson's in the portal. Dante Moore's in the portal. The kid Rashada, I think, is in the portal, right? Like the only one that stayed is Lamella, who went to Tennessee, and that's it. And then you got Malik Murphy, who came out the same year as Body, right? He was a 5 or 4-star out of California. He's out there looking for a job. Dude, the portal's crazy. And then honestly, if you look at it dude, Ole Miss has figured out the method. Don't pay unproven high school kids who are going to jump after year 1 and use their name. Oh, I went to USC and I was a 5-star. I'm going to portal out and see who's going to give me the biggest bag, and I haven't done nothing yet because people are going to throw a bag at you. Dude, they just go and they get like 1 or 2 year guys who have proven themselves, who are portaling out, and then they go drop the bag on them versus dropping the bag on a high school kid.
And that's what's hurting high school kids.
And that's the new. But at the same time, it helps high school kids. It's a double-edged sword because like you could have been underlooked in high school and catch a hell of a break in college. And now you go from playing at UTSA to, hey, this dude's getting picked up by University of Texas. There's a defensive end from UTSA that just made that hop, right?
Yeah,
he could have been a 2 or 3-star kid coming out of high school. Now he's getting an opportunity to go play for the University of Texas.
But the point is, you take that opportunity, you got to stay because you've got to get tape, and that's the key thing with these guys. Okay, cool. Go to these smaller schools, get your rips, get some film, then put your name in the portal. Right? I mean, don't go unproven. You set the bench a year and then you move.
I think the thing that we're going to have to get used to, and I know we're kind of drifting off of high school football, but I think the thing we're going to have to get used to with the new age and portal is that, hey, dude, don't bank on your class rank that recruiting year. 2, don't buy a jersey for that kid until they're in year 3, because me personally,
that may not even work. Year 3 may not mean nothing.
This is what I'm seeing, and I don't blame them because this is the way the market is. So, like, hey, if I'm a badass defensive end out of high school or whatever it may be, I'm going to go to maybe UT or Ohio State or USC or Oklahoma, maybe put up a decent year as a freshman. I'm hitting that portal button next year. Pay me more than what I got, because if you don't, A team like Florida, who's hungry to win, oh, that dude was at Ohio State. He was a badass defensive in Ohio State. 5-star coming out of high school. Pay him double what he's making there. Bring him over here.
dude. Like
It's
even,
business, dude. At the end of the day, like I hate it. I don't like it. That's the new era of football, dude. Like it is what it is. We're
but
gonna have to get used to it.
if you think about this is before transfer portal days. If you think about that first season of Last Chance U, you had that kid that came from Florida State and
Mm-hmm.
couldn't start over the kid that's working at Steel Dynamics now.
Yeah,
It was John Franklin, right? Wasn't it John Franklin?
he's at Still Dynamics.
No,
Or
no,
is that
no, no,
Joe?
not him. The kid. No, the kid. I can't remember his name. Went to Mississippi State after he finished his 2 years there. Rode the pine for a year.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that kid beat out a 5-star recruit. You
Yep.
know,
With a
and
horrible attitude.
yeah. So, and that, like I said, that's before the transfer portal days. Yeah, and that guy, I think his name was Austin something, right? Yeah, he's working for Steel Dynamics somewhere up in
What the
up in Alabama or something. Yeah, not here, but yeah, I mean, it's the way things work. Yeah, we are going off a tangent, but uh man, I guess we'll finish out. So one more other thing I wanted to bring up about state. So the other thing you saw, it happens every year at this time, especially now. Actually, I have not seen the rumblings as bad as it was last year. The state need to rotate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there was that, right? So Matt Stepp had tweeted out after the DeSoto game, after he announced the announcement, it was 193,776 total of the 4 days for state. That's the lowest it's ever been since they moved the games to Dallas. Still 37,000 higher than it was in Houston.
You know, I used to be on the let's rotate state. I hate that I'm going back on this, but dude, like, and I'm a Texans fan, somewhat. That stadium's boring as hell. I watched the games like in the Houston area before, like a week or two before state. They'll play a couple of them at NRG. It's just kind of boring, and like the atmosphere just isn't there. Like the atmosphere at Jerry World is just it's better, dude. It's better. Now that's not to say that I wouldn't have a blast if they did the same setup at the Alamo Dome. I love the Alamo Dome. I think it'd be kick ass if they could do it at the Alamo Stadium. But I know
It's never going to be out. It's never
that
going to
would
be outdoors.
that would never happen.
Never going to be outdoors again.
But Alamo Dome would be cool to me. NRG's okay, I guess. It just doesn't it just something about it, man. It's just the
Alamo Dome's the same way. It's like if it's on the scale of paint, it's like taupe. You know,
it's just I just think it's because it's all right there. You know, I don't know. I just watch the games inside NRG and I'm kind of like, this is boring.
Well, dude, last year, like NRG didn't even host playoff games last year. So, do they even want it?
Probably not, dude.
Right?
Houston's weird, dude. Houston's a weird city when it comes to stuff like that. They lost the Oilers in the Oilers colors. Shame on them.
Yeah. Hey, but Texans beat them this week in those colors.
They should get the rights to wear the uniform next year. They should every year.
Did you see
whoever wins gets to change it up?
Going back on the college thing, did you see how the NFL sent a cease and desist to U of H that they couldn't wear those colors?
Rice did the same thing.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
and I don't think they got a cease and desist from the NFL. Probably because there's smarter people at Rice University than they are running the NFL.
Yeah,
but just to wrap up. Right, because I think we're at 39 minutes. I didn't expect this one to be very long. This year, going back to the 23 season as a whole, what were some of your surprises this year in the Coastal Bend in our area? What was some good and bad?
I was not gonna lie, I was shocked about Miller losing to Vets. That shocked me. I was shocked about PSJ losing to Vets the week before. Rafiro was a shocker from hell. Surprisers for me was still never going to understand the Flower Bluff loss to Cal Allen early on, and the loss to Laredo Alexander. I will never understand that. Surpriser was Chris Steinbrook finally kind of turning the reins over out there in FB, moving up to a leadership role as the super. Right, that was a shocker. I didn't see that coming. I didn't know that was coming.
I don't think anybody knew that was coming.
They did. The people close to the coaches over there knew that was coming because I talked to our friend. She's a soccer coach over there, and it just was really quiet. And they did a good job of keeping that in. And nothing crazy, man. This year played out pretty much the same. Looking forward, I'm gonna go back to what Lavelle said earlier, dude. Yeah, I hope Portland and Miller get in the same district. Um, we need, as a Portland fan, dude, like we need to play good teams.
Yeah.
We for real, like we need to get Alice in there, we need to get Portland in there, we need to get Miller in there. I don't get Flower Bluff in there if you can. I mean, dude, let's get everyone that's good in there because
Flower Bluff's going D1.
That sucks.
Flower
Because
Bluff's going
everyone,
D1.
dude, I mean, just everyone, dude, that district does us no good, man. And
But I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, really, like everybody.
there's nothing we could have done in the last 2 years. I'm just saying,
I don't think there's anything you can do this year.
Please, God, put us in a better district. Like, get us in there with Miller or something, and then schedule up, dude. I don't care if you have to go get beat 63-0 the first week. Schedule up. Like, go find some teams. Like, start figuring it out, man. Like, let's get our ass kicked a little bit or something. I just think that should be the thing, man. If we're gonna ever get better as a Coastal Bend, like we gotta go seek out competition, dude. Like our competitive teams down there here, quit ducking each other, play each other, quit scrimmaging each other. Scrimmages are cool. They don't make you that much better. Like let's play week 1, week 2. Like let's put good on good, dude. Like I want to see that. I want to see kick ass games. Like Alice and GP need to reschedule each other for pre-district. Quit ducking each other. Flower Bluff and Portland. If you can't play in the same district, let's schedule that up. Well, that's a good game going, right? Like good on good. People need to quit being scared of Miller. Play them. Like
they beat you. They beat you.
They beat you. It's no shame that they've been good for the last 6 years. Like pick it up. Like it's not the Miller of the people are used to. Like it's a good Miller team. Like play them. We need it. Let's keep it down here. Go search our 5As like Flower Bluff. Go pick up Harlingen. Play them dudes.
Something.
Harlingen would probably play them.
And so speaking of the alignments come out mid-February, I think, right? So the cutoffs got announced first week of December. I think that Friday, December 5th, 6th, something like that. The cutoffs got announced. So, I mean, you can look at these mock alignments and see how well they line up now that we have the cutoffs and see if those are correct. And some of them are probably pretty right on, especially our area, because like I said, the Valley's kind of shrinking with their stuff. They don't have any small schools anymore, really.
It's crazy, right?
If they don't have any of those middle 5As and 4As, guess what? They're going to be in our district. I mean, that's just the way it's going to go, right?
Yep.
And like it or not, that's what it is. So we should see those districts come out in February, and then you're going to see the masked phone calls because the coaches are going to try to build a schedule, right? Yep. Based on where they land and who they can get for preseason or pre-district. So that'll be the next thing that pops up. Maybe we'll do a show about that time. Maybe now is the time we usually kind of put the show on hiatus. Up until God, when did we start the coffee shows? Like June?
Somewhere in there. Hopefully I'm out of turnaround.
June, July sometime. So I don't know. If something pops up, we'll probably get a show, but I would think the next one's going to be February. Time to take our breather. And then once we see those districts come out, we'll get a show on and kind of rehash and kind of see where things are at. Man, it's been a pretty wild 6th season. It came fast. It's hard to believe that we've been doing this for 6 years.
Yeah. No doubt. I remember the very beginning, the rogue stages, dude. Like
picking fights with everybody. I don't know if you guys, some of the new guys that are listening, Justin always wanted to fight Alan Harwell. And
I still want to fight Alan Harwell. I don't like Alan Harwell.
Hey, Dell Nelson's retiring, dude.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, like he had his lunch today. I saw it on the news today. I still watch the local news. I guess his last show is the 29th. 45 years at Channel 6.
Dang.
Pretty wild. Yeah.
Long deal.
Yeah. But man, I think that's all I got, dude. I mean, you got anything else before we go?
No,
before we shut down for the season?
I think goals for next year's season would be cool. I enjoyed the media aspect like we kind of had early on in the beginning of the show. When we bring guys on like Q, if Matt comes on the show more, like that'd be cool. Just the more guests, it helps it flow better and like you get a different perspective, right? And I'll say this though about the state things. They need to get Matt on TV or at least a mic because dude, he does a good job of like actually knowing the entire state outside of the DFW and some hot, hot notes that were given to you 10 minutes before a game. Like I want to hear a dude like that talk about state games leading up to it.
Yeah.
I don't want some kind of pre-scripted meditation on these games. Like let's get Matt on the actual mic, dude. Quit hiding in the box and get on the mic.
Yeah. Get off your lunch table, Matt.
Yeah.
Get on, call a game. I know he's done it before. He's done it for Texan Live.
I'm not saying the other people don't do a good job because it's a lot. It's a lot of info.
It's the familiarity. It's the
But
familiarity.
dude, Matt is in the trenches. You see Matt, he goes down to the valley, he goes down to El Paso, he goes up to the Panhandle, he goes to the far corners of East Texas. Like he's in there, like actually seeing some of these teams and can give you a legit mock-up versus just like a couple key points per team.
6-man is hard, dude. It's hard.
It's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, you see the operation here, dude. It's us two. And it's just and unfortunately, man, there's to go to games. They're always. I'd like to go to a 6-man game. Don't get me wrong. I'd like to go watch. I'd like to see it. I mean, did you see the scores in the state games this year? I mean,
yeah.
Is it normal to be that lopsided? I know they're high scoring games. I know it's fast, but is it normal to be that lopsided? But man, that's all I got, dude. We'll see you guys in February, right? I think the Coach Ben Coaches Conference is in January. I know Justin's going to be tied up. I don't know how busy I'm going to be at that time. We may set up a little booth over there and get some coach interviews and just kind of air them just to keep the page going, keep the algorithm going.
Yeah.
A little 5-10 minute shot with the Coastal Bend coaches and whoever else is going to be at the conference. We'll set up a little booth there and do all that. So, but I think that's the next thing that'll have us tied over till realignment, and then
the annual Todd Dodge show.
After that, yeah, the annual Todd Dodge show that we got coming on. I mean, we got to get him a hat, dude. We've never given him a hat.
I would like to get maybe moving forward, like maybe a couple with the coffee with coaches. Like we hit our coaches. Well, I want to hit some like coaches across the state. Like, wouldn't it be cool to get like samples on or something like that and just talk? Hey, what makes the DFW so powerful? Like, what is it that y'all do at Duncanville that just makes that thing run? You know what I mean? Like,
hey,
I would love to get the coach from DeSoto on. Have you ever listened to him talk pregame?
We got a plug up there in the DFW now that can maybe spread the word for us.
I'm telling you, dude,
he's the offensive coordinator at Crowley.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
we can get Carlos Lynn on.
Let's get Carlos Lynn on. Someone tag Matt McHugh and say we want to get Carlos Lynn on. I want to know because if you look at that Crowley transformation, they did an excellent job there.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the same thing that dudes did at like Duncanville. I'm not getting wrong. Duncanville, I think, were always good talent. I think Crowley had talent, but what Lynn and them done, they came in and they actually made those dudes compete. And I think next year you're going to see a more competitive brand, right? So, like, let's get that on. I'd love to get Lynn on and be like, hey, so what did it take to come in and win those kids over at Crowley? How did y'all do it, right? That'd be good.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. I know we're a South Texas show, and we're not going to move our focus from South Texas, but I mean it's the off season. I mean, we've got to get some kind of stuff to fill in the void and keep the algorithm going, right? I mean, dude, we're at 12,000 followers now.
The thing for me is yeah, we're a South Texas show, right? And come football season, obviously we're going to cover our South Texas teams, but like, if I'm a fan on the outside looking in, like which I was, is why we were part of the show. It's like, dude, like I would love to watch a show with those guys on it because people are in here asking how do you close that gap between us and DFW? Let's figure out how they got there first, right? Like how do you get those kids to buy in? Like what do y'all do? Like what is it? What's a day in life at Crowley, Texas? Like I'm all for something like that.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
We'll figure it out. We got a few months to see what we're gonna do. But guys, as always, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for following the show this season. And we're looking forward to be back for season 7 next year. And maybe we got a few tricks up our sleeves. A couple other things that are coming out. I guess merch is probably the big thing. I guess we got to start pumping out some more merch. Getting hit up in the DMs a lot for merch.
It's gonna make a shirt that says "Football or Die"
or something, right? Yeah, we'll see. Guys, again, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate the love during the season, and we'll see you guys next year.